Welcome to the Trending Report, brought to you by USA Financial. The Trending Report is a series that aims to focus on the trend lines rather than just the headlines. Each episode features commentary around the state of the market, as well as other factors that may impact your personal finances. The host of the Trending Report is an investment advisor representative of and securities are offered through USA Financial Securities, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. The Trending Report is educational and not intended as personal financial advice.
Hi, this is Kevin Roskam with USA Financial, and this is your trending report for January 2025. Now, I'm recording this in the middle of the month, and it has been a month already of uncertainty. Uncertainty in the marketplace, uncertainty in the economy, uncertainty in the world around us. It is the kind of uncertainty that I've been talking about for the last several months, and it's the kind of uncertainty that makes an unemotional investment plan so valuable. You know, as I consider these recordings on a monthly basis, I really don't want to sound like a broken record. I want to give some sort of a new message every month. And especially to start a new year, that would be really fun to do. But I've got to tell you, the one thing we know about the stock market is that we don't know exactly where it will go from year to year. We just finished up a tremendous year in the stock market for 2024, with the S&P 500 finishing up around 25% for the year. And historically, or at least in our minds, we tend to think we had such a good year last year, this can't go on forever. And so, again, based on the uncertainty that we thought we might see in January and February, and who knows, throughout the coming year, the initial reaction is always to take our chips off the table, to move money to safety, to find that defensive position. And you know what? In some years, that turns out to be the right thing to do. But more often than not, that hunch or that feeling, that emotional reaction after a good year in the market and in the midst of some uncertainty in a new year, that move to safety is really done emotionally. And so my real message before showing you what the trends still continue to look like is guard your emotions. Don't let your short-term emotions disrupt your long-term plans. And it's something I say every year, every month, all the time. We're in a time period where this unemotional investment approach, this disciplined approach to your investing becomes so important. Because rather than look back at a great year in the market and look forward with uncertainty to the year to come, we should be looking at the process that's in place to manage our long-term investments. Now, if you're a client at USA Financial and you have accounts on our exchange platform, maybe it's a time to be reminded, how are my accounts being unemotionally managed? How does the discipline process work? And what does it look like if we see a clear reversal of the positive trend? Do all of my money managers get out of the market at the exact same time? Or do they all stay exposed to the market no matter what happens in the market? Or do I have multiple money managers that I'm exposed to so that some of my money may get out of the market sooner and some might get out a little later? What's the time frame? When is your money being looked at? You know, we talk about unemotional investing. We talk about the need to control our emotions. But the best way to control our emotions is to know what's going on. You know, That reminds me, about a week and a half ago, my daughter went back to college. And thankfully, it was a sunny day. It's cold in northern Michigan or western Michigan, and we're always worried about, especially our 18-year-old driving in the snow. And so I had come home for work to see her off, and she was going to leave right after I left. And so I'm backing out of the driveway. She's backing out of the garage, and mom has gone back inside the house. And it turns out, as she got out of the garage and she put the garage door down, less than a foot from it actually closing all the way, the spring in the garage door broke. Now, I was already on the road. I didn't hear it. My daughter was in her car. She didn't really hear it. But my wife heard that sound, that banging snap of the spring breaking, and you can imagine what she thought had happened. And so she ran to the garage to see if my daughter had hit the garage door or hit the side of the garage, what had happened. And because she didn't know what happened, she didn't know what that sound was, of course, she got a little emotional about it, a little scared, a little reaction. And my phone rang and she says, "Hey, did you hear that bang?" Well, no, I'd already gone down the road. And she started with me on the phone, looking at the garage door. And while the garage door, there's no dents or anything. And then she looked up and she said, "Do we have two springs or one spring to open the garage door?" And I thought, oh, we have one spring. And so that's when we were able to diagnose the problem, and we knew what was wrong. And of course, knew who to call to fix it. But that initial emotional reaction is common. Makes sense. There was something bad that happened, a loud noise. She didn't know what it was. She reacted with some fear. And then after seeing that nothing was immediately wrong, we were able to diagnose the problem and get it taken care of. When you don't know how your investments are supposed to react to changing market conditions, when you see volatility, when you see the market drop for 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, your emotions can cause you to want to react. And when that happens, the best thing you can do is make a phone call. Call your advisor. "Hey, market's been really rough. Give me an update. What do we have going on?" And your advisor, especially if they're not emotionally involved in the market itself, should be able to talk you through what's going on and how your investments should react to the market. Remember, this is long-term money. And even though we employ risk management strategies, we have to be exposed to some volatility in order to get growth. And so let's go to the trends, because you'll see what I'm talking about. This is the last month in the stock market. This is that banging sound that my wife heard in the garage. This is not exactly, but certainly some of your accounts look a little bit like this. And so this is that time, if you're concerned, if you're not certain of the unemotional investment management that's going on your behalf, this is the time to make the call. "Hey, I'm a little nervous. Looks like the market's a little weird right now. How is my money doing?" Now, I've had calls this week with some of my own personal clients. And unfortunately, my answer has to be, well, your accounts are down a little bit. But that's how this works. Remember, we're invested in securities. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. The mountain chart is never a straight line when it comes to growth, because it takes time to manage the volatility to get to growth. And so again, this 1 month chart of the S&P 500 doesn't look great. Over the past 30 days or so, the market is down. Doesn't mean all of your investments are down, but it certainly means the stuff that you have exposed to the stock market most likely is down a little bit. Well, does that mean the trend has reversed? I don't think so. This is over the last 12 months, and you can see over to the right-hand side of this chart, we have seen some volatility, of course, and we've seen the market moving down a little bit. But we have not yet seen a long-term trend. And so as we look over the course of the last 12 months, we see volatility. I mentioned earlier that the year 2024 was a great year in the market. At least in my mind, 25% is a really good year. But as you look at this chart, you can see it didn't start at 0 and go straight to 25%. That's not how this works. We've got to get through the volatility to get to long-term growth. And so as I pull back out to the 5-year chart again, we can see that the trend has been positive for 5 years. There have been times where we should feel a little emotional about the market. There has been times where we did have to keep our emotions in check, where we probably needed reminders. How does my investment approach specifically handle these market conditions? All of that is fine. It's okay to experience emotions. It's not okay to overreact to them. And so as we sit now in the middle of January, there's some big changes coming really over the next week, beginning in the next week with the inauguration, with the new administration coming in. And I think it's so important to allow the money management strategies to work. Allow those formulas, allow those money managers to do their job and to react to the market for you. Will the market go up next week? Will it go down next week? What will February be like? What about March? Nobody knows. But if you have an unemotional, disciplined approach to the stock market, then you know that those strategies are going to work regardless of our feelings. This is Kevin Roskam with USA Financial. This has been your January 2025 trending report. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of The Trending Report, powered by USA Financial. We invite you to visit usafinancial.com to find out more about our work with independent advisors and their clients all around the country. Any projections, targets, or estimates in this report are forward-looking statements and are based on the firm's research, analysis, and assumptions. Due to the rapidly changing market conditions and the complexity of investment decisions, supplemental information and other sources may be required to make informed investment decisions. All expressions of opinions are subject to change without notice. Clients should seek financial advice regarding the appropriateness of investing in any security or investment strategy discussed.